Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Marks. I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So of course, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the FA Cup draw, which happened last night. Of course, the men and the women both found out their fates for the next round of the FA Cup. Of course, with our draw, of course, taking place on BBC Two, and the women's draw taking place, of course, on Talk Sport 2. Of course, the women progressing through into the next round of the Vitality Women's FA Cup, and us, of course, coming in to the third round of the Men's FA Cup. And it's going to be an interesting one because Newcastle was, of course, number 27 in the draw, and eventually, after a while of the draw going on, Newcastle was pulled out of the hat as the away team in a tie against Sheffield Wednesday. Now, this is a big game because this is a tie that, of course, the Sheffield Wednesday manager was screaming for. He wanted to play Newcastle United and he got his wish. But, you know, sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for because this could be an absolute thumping for Sheffield Wednesday. That's not to be disrespectful whatsoever to Sheffield Wednesday, but the way we've been playing this season, we are right up there as the best team in Europe, possibly even the world right now. You know, we are right up there with the likes of Arsenal and Manchester City. We're currently sitting third in the Premier League as well, so the Sheffield Wednesday manager might have to be careful what he's wished for here. Of course, with recent history as well, in the past with the two teams when, of course, we've faced off, Newcastle came away with an 8-0 win in Bobby Robson's game in charge of Newcastle United when Bobby came in on the 19th of September 1999. 3 o'clock kickoff at St James's Park. I remember it like it was yesterday. And Newcastle United came away 8-0 winners in the game. Gary Speed scored, Dyer scored, Hughes scored, Shearer bagged 5 goals in the game. It was an absolutely sensational game, and you know, hopefully we get to see something like that when we take them on down at Hillsborough. Obviously, our team is a lot different to what it was back in 1999. Sheffield Wednesday's side obviously is a lot different to what it was back in 1999, and we are absolute powerhouse of a team these days. Just like we were back then as well. You know, we were a really good side back then, and this is going to be an interesting game. It's said that it could be on Saturday the 7th of January, but there's also Sunday the 8th of January that it could be. From the rumours that I've been hearing going around, it sounds like it could be the Saturday the 7th of January that this one is played. I was hoping that Newcastle would have got a home tie so that I could have attended the game. Of course, with us not being able to attend many games, of course, because of other commitments or the fact that you just can't get a ticket to go to the league games, or you can't get a ticket, you know, when it was the League Cup just gone. Tickets ran out so fast that you just couldn't get there. But looking at it, this could be a really interesting game. A fantastic tie, of course, for Sheffield Wednesday. Fantastic tie for us. You know, it's going to bring massive gate receipts to Sheffield Wednesday because Newcastle United are rolling into town. You know, it's going to be a massive game for us because it gives a chance to push through into the next round of the FA Cup. And talking about the FA Cup, of course, we'll move on to talk about who the women got in the FA Cup for their next round. Of course, their previous game before this round of the FA Cup for the third round. In the second round of the FA Cup, of course, they took on Barnsley Ladies at St James's Park, and of course they came away from that game 2-1 winners after being 1-0 down within 15 minutes of the game starting. And it was a fantastic 28,565 fans that were able to see that match take place. Now, of course, they found out who they are taking on in the third round of the Fatality Women's FA Cup, and they will host, of course, Wolves Women in the third round of the Fatality FA Cup. Now, the ties are due to be played on Sunday, the 11th of December. There is Newcastle fans that attended the women's game at St James's Park just gone screaming for this game to also be played at St James's Park in a possible chance to break that 28,565 attendance that, of course, we got for that game. Now, I'm sure there's a great possibility that it could possibly be played at St James's Park, because if you look at it, the tie would be played on Sunday, the 11th of December. Of course, Newcastle United don't play at St James's Park until the 17th of December, which is a friendly against Rio Vallecano, of course, and we have a game on the 8th of December against Saudi Arabian champions out in Saudi Arabia. So there is a big possibility that the women's game could be played at St James's Park. It would be a fantastic chance for, of course, the owners to break the previous record just set, which was 28,565, and break it again. You know, let's try and get it to 30,000, 35,000. You know, it will be absolutely sensational to see, you know, a packed out 52,000 plus St James's Park to cheer on the women against Wolves Women at St James's Park. That would be absolutely sensational. It would really, you know, show the ambition of the owners. It would show the ambition of us fans as well. We are a very passionate fan base, and it proves it, you know, with the 28,000 plus fans that just attended the women's game at St James's Park just gone, you know. So to be able to have another women's game at St James's Park so soon and to be able to break that record again would be absolutely fantastic, and it would show a very massive ambition, and it would, of course, prove the point that Amanda Staveley's been pushing, that she wants the women's football to be just as important as the men's football, because it is. You know, at the end of the day, we live in a world now where men and women have got to be equal. You know, the pay gaps are there. You know, the equal pay now, and it's a different world now. You know, football isn't only for men, it's for women as well. It's for, you know, everybody who wants to enjoy it at the end of the day. And that would be fantastic to see yet another women's game at St James's Park, and, you know, who knows, maybe break that record once again on the capacity for St James's Park. But moving away from football, I know it's not exactly ideal, but moving away from football talk, I do want to bring up something that happened at the women's game just gone as well, which was, of course, Northeast boxer Savannah Marshall. She came out, of course, and she was talking about a possible rematch for her and the American Carissa Shields being on the cards, and she is saying that it could possibly be at St James's Park as well. Newcastle St James's Park is a potential venue to host the rematch. The rematch is on the cards. It is something, you know, that should have been at St James's Park from the beginning. You know, they were talking about Savannah Marshall and Carissa Shields playing, doing their fight at St James's Park, and, you know, it ended up then going down to London and being held there. It would be massive for Newcastle United, massive for the city, massive for the owners to have a huge bout like that being done at St James's Park. This is the way, you know, for us to move forward, to generate more revenue, to generate a good reputation as well, not only in football but in all walks of sport. You know, we've already seen the Magic Weekend take place at St James's Park. We've seen quite a few games during the Olympics, when the Olympics was here back in 2012, being done at St James's Park. We've seen Brazil and what have you play there. We've had the Rugby League World Cup just recently be hosted at St James's Park as well. So, you know, why not? Let's have Savannah Marshall and Carissa Shields as rematch at St James's Park, because it should have been here in the first place in the first one. But moving away, of course, from that, that is all the news to talk about, of course, on Newcastle United and on things to do with Newcastle United. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags. And England, of course, take on Wales tonight in the World Cup. It's a massive game for both countries, and hopefully England can come away with 3 points against the Toffees. Come on, England, and however, lads.